Hi everyone, I'm Sarita Scherpereel, a realtor here in Chicago, and today I want to talk about condo buildings, specifically associations in smaller buildings versus larger buildings. So in Chicago, it's very common that you might have a smaller association, maybe like a 3 to 6 unit that's self-managed. It's possible that they keep the reserves at a very low amount and they work with their projects or any kind of work that's needed on the property in more of a strategy and then an ante up mentality. Now, bigger associations that might have more than 6 or 10 units even, most likely will use a property management company as well as have a board. It's quite possible that the reserves are a little bit higher because maybe these buildings have doorman or a pool or other facilities. Usually they're just bigger buildings. So the association fees are a lot higher to account for not only the budget of running the building, but what they need in the reserves. Now, let's talk about the potential negatives for both. Now, when you're working with a lot of smaller associations, this ante-up mentality, if you have homeowners that are active and thinking about the strategy of their property, this is a really great place to be at. However, if you have owners that maybe are a little bit more absentee and managed by crisis, that's a huge red flag. Because if the roof is not an issue, or maybe it is until it's leaking, that's kind of a bad place to be at. So I always recommend with buyers when you're analyzing the property and the deal that you might have like maybe a couple of thousand aside in case the reserves are low for any of these problems that come up. Now with larger buildings, the biggest downside for them would be that you're paying for reserves into these larger buildings that is a savings account you may and will probably never have to pull from if you're lucky. Now, if there's a special assessment that's needed, the reserves are great to have, but a lot of people like to have maybe their money in their pocket to manage themselves so that they don't have to keep feeding the reserve monster. Now, it kind of depends on your own personal preference for how you manage your money, but also the hypotheticals of the property. So when you go and you do your inspection, you want to make sure that you're not just looking at the 4 walls in the unit, but looking outside of the building, seeing how the tuck pointing or the split face block is impacted or the roof. All of those things really equate to having a well-operated building. One of my friends, who's another realtor, Terry, had mentioned the other night that the best way that you can see into the association is when you walk into the halls of the building. And this is very true. You'll know right away, are there paint projects that are needing to happen, if there's chips on the wall. All of those things show what the management of the building is like. So just things to look for. Now again, hypothetical is endless here, so if you've got specific questions, don't hesitate to reach out to me. My name is Sarita Scherpereel, and I'm a realtor here in Chicago.